Welcome to the Colors Delight for Life. It's about life, where we share our experience, strength, and hope to help others so they have a better understanding. Thank you. Hi, this is Andrea of It's About Life, sharing your experience show with Ayrton. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great.
I'm Ayrton Giulio, and let's say the title, the label that I love to go by is to be an eco-social, soulful impact coach. What does that even mean? That means that in the transformation that I thrive into with the people I work with, I want to make sure that it is an exchange, that it becomes an exchange. So the transformation of the person I work with goes as an exchange for the impact. So as a donation or as a support for the partnerships I have with different organizations and no profits in the world, both for eco, environmental, and sustainability, and for social impact. I am
Well,
my
go
best
ahead.
to do all of these and create a different order of change, which is, if you want a second order of change, I will not dive deep into that because it would take more time than what we probably have. But this second order change is what I believe is needed, and through the coaching I provide, I believe I can bring this energy into people so that they move towards such a order of change. If you want to look for it, it's something very fascinating and that can truly benefit to our
Well,
society, our human.
thank you for explaining about yourself. I believe everybody has a story to tell about their life, and that story can be shared with others and give them hope and faith in what they believe in. And with that, we're going to get started. And I hope that was a help.
It was of help, and I must say it is super relevant to the kind of spirit I adopt in my daily life, because I really believe too that we need to transform our deepest pain, our worst complaints into the best assets to inspire, to help, to support, and yeah, to make a difference. That's where the biggest difference comes from our deepest pain, from
I
our
also deal with bipolar disorder, anxiety, and stress disorder. And I deal with physical disabilities, but I don't let them stop me because you don't. I figure there's no excuses in that. So now let's
But do you
travel.
want to
Let's travel through your life.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
I want you to go back to your childhood and think of things you overcome. I know that's a long ways to go back to, but think about, what happened and things you overcome, and go ahead. It's your time to go. Just go with it.
Thank you for letting me go, for allowing me to share that. So I would start with the very first act that as humans have in life, and it's birth. I got adopted at birth, and that was, I mean, still an unconscious action for me. We're not conscious at that moment, and we're just taking our incarnation in this planet, on this planet. But that was a very important moment because I got adopted, so I didn't stay with my biological mother. And and that is very important to share because it marked my my adolescence, my adulthood in a quite powerful way, up to the point of what I do today is really strongly founded upon that. Because after that, after being adopted, I had a very wonderful childhood, honestly. I absolutely do not complain about my childhood. I have wonderful parents who took full care of me and still love me, still give me love and support in all, by all means. And what happened there is that although I had all the support I wanted and I needed, I had the education, I had the food, the dresses, the electricity, the roof on my head, and everything that a human being might need to thrive. When I entered my adolescence and I started questioning who am I started asking to myself, right? Even unconsciously, but that's what we do when we go through adolescence. I started asking myself, who am I? And starting to understand myself, starting to explore my origins in a much more conscious and self-aware way. I started to express anger, frustration. I couldn't understand what it was. I couldn't understand why I was so angry, so frustrated. I did not appreciate everything I have. I raged against my parents. I was always fighting and always being punished at home and being the last in class. And I mean, just things weren't working out as they were supposed to, like the happy family. And I got adopted and I received all the love possible. So the way I coped with that was drugs, was being addicted and not in control of my life, of my being, and not being the master of myself, rather letting anger, frustration act on my behalf. And that created quite a miserable piece. I'd say the 7 6 7 years of my life, quite miserable part of my life, which I was covering with numbing my brain with all sort of drugs I could put my hands on, pretty much. So fast forward, I would say that at a certain point, I got tired with that. And at the age of 16, turning 17, I found myself in an experience, in a learning language experience abroad, where my parents sent me to learn French in France. And I realized that being the host, being the guest in a family, in a French family, and having to, like, as a rule, help them putting the table and cleaning the dishes and doing all this normal, I mean, community, family stuff, activities. I realized that I was being a big asshole. Sorry, the French. I went to learn French in France, right? So I was being a big asshole to my family. And I realized that I had to somehow give back. And so I started feeling in debt to my father, to my mother, my adoptive ones, the Italian parents in Florence. And that made me realize I had to change. So I started changing. I started doing my best, the best I could to change. And it wasn't easy because I was a drug addict. I was subdued to substances and to external means of numbing my pain. That lasted a few years. And I went through schools with that, but I was trying to change. I was doing my best to change. And at a certain point, this is a little bit kind of fast forward, but what changed me truly was spirituality, understanding that there was something more, starting feeling energies, starting to feel vibrations, and being with my ex-girlfriend at the time, who helped me out in in really seeing something. So her mother was at the time studying naturopathy, being specialized in Reiki, Shiatsu, traditional Chinese medicine, and all these very fascinating disciplines that are all about something which transcends the materialistic Western view of our reality and society. And she was testing on us, so I started feeling that stuff, and that stuff started working through me. And so I really had to embrace a deep ancestral pain coming from that birth, coming from that adoption that I didn't want. I mean, you're a little creature who is meant to come on this planet to receive some love, to have that physical embracing warmth of a mother, and you're teared apart from her right away at birth. I didn't know that at the time, but it was excruciating, and it created a deep wound into myself. And still today, age 27, I am facing it actually, with some leftovers of fear of abandonment, fear of rejection here and there. There's still something that I'm working through, although I've been working through really deeply. Today, I decided to catalyze that pain, catalyze that suffering, catalyze all what's about that into what fuels me, into what changes things for others.
What I hear from you is that you forgave yourself for what you had been through and what you had done. And that's one thing I had to do, forgive myself for family. And my family comes together after 18 years this year. And I can see that in you. You know, I'm actually a Reiki master myself. So, you know, I understand what you're talking about. But it sounds like forgiveness became a big part of what you did, and having gratitude for yourself.
Yes. You pointed at a very important aspect. Yes, definitely. Because coming from a space of forgiveness and talking about it, there were very many elements that needed to be forgiven in a way, right? When I discovered that I had resentment, some sort of resentment, or anyway, frustration, anger, like that wound. When I saw that wound with my consciousness and aware eyes, I had to forgive my mother, my biological mother, who I do not know anything about to the date, but I had to forgive her. Kind of, you abandoned me. Why did you do it? Why did you abandon? So that was a question. And I had to forgive her. It's like, there must have been a good reason for a mother to give away her child, right? And not only one, actually. My older brother, 1 year older, apparently got adopted too the same year, but not by my parents, who got very angry also for that aspect. Fortunately, I grew up knowing that I was adopted. I feel grateful for that. I feel grateful for everything, but for that as well. And so, yeah, gratitude is one very important part. Gratitude for myself to be willing to go through this in an open and vulnerable way, and be open to share it so that people could see, and gratitude and forgiveness. I was saying forgiveness. They really are an important side in everyone's life. We cannot evolve without these higher level emotions, as I would label them somehow.
One of the wonderful things I found about forgiveness and gratitude, it sets you free, and it sets you free from bitterness root. You know, I can see that happening. And by pulling out that root of bitterness, you've made your life much different. And that's what I see in you telling yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yes, it is the truth, the one you see, Andrea, and I bet that is the reality for many, and something which is fundamental into the change that we go through in our everyday life. Because once we embrace something like that, once we decide, once we make the choice to go through it, really we can endure anything. Anything can be endured, and anything can be transmutated and catalyzed into a better version of ourselves, into a higher level of who we are meant to be, and really make concrete inspiration and change happen for humanity. This is really ingrained in me, and I think I was given the gift of this pain. I was given the gift of the sufferance you go through because of an adoption. I was given the gift of this complaint, because now what I do on a eco-social soulful impact level, as I go by this label, what I do is, on a social impact level, I point my energy, my soul, to kids who would not have at the date the possibility to have an education as I had, a loving environment as I had, food, shelter. So that's where I point my visionary energy towards. And I know that on an eco-environmentally and sustainability level, it's really, really big space and opportunity, so that these people who may not have a job, so to speak, they can be introduced into these environments, which are noble causes, and them too can be fulfilled and be rewarded for being on this planet, and feel enough. Because if there's one thing that I recently discovered of myself, is that although I know my worth, I know my value, I know my power and my abilities and my skills, I really am aware of those, and I have proven those to many and to myself. There's a small feeling of I'm not enough.
It sounds like you use your pain and your life lessons to help others, and flip them on their head and turn them into something positive to help other people, is what I'm hearing from you.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And really, this is also something that came up really, really, really strongly um, in the past couple of years, and it amplified at a magnitude which was unprecedented, also for what I could imagine and see for myself in the past 6 months. And now it's taking off terrifically and wonderfully. I believe we're here for that. And I'd like to kind of address myself directly to whoever is listening, whoever you are. Just know that whatever you're going through, and it may sound naive, or you may think you have no idea of what I'm going through, and that's true. I have no idea of what you are going through in this exact moment of your life. But what I know for sure is that whatever we are going through, it's gonna make us more powerful and more able to endure the next challenge. And if we use it consciously, intentionally, and transmute whatever we're going through into something that is for others. Kind of coaching I do has a bottom line integrity, so feeling whole, feeling better with oneself, and fulfillment. And if we use that working on ourselves, understanding what we've been given, because we have been given everything that we need to give to others, that's truly fulfilling and healing. It's healing. It's really a healing path, the one of using our pain, our disgrace, our miserability for others. So this is why I minded to address directly to you, and thanking Andrea for actually having us talking about this. In this
I've got, if you were to take 3 takeaways for our audience, what would they be?
3, would you like me to take 3 takeaways for them out of what we just shared, or 3
And
takeaways?
that is correct. So they have something to go by and use in their lives.
So I would love to frame it in a very important way. So self-awareness is very important. This would be one of the secrets almost, that self-awareness is very important. But it can be very dangerous if we are only able to be aware of ourselves without being conscious through that self-awareness. So conscious self-awareness, conscious self-observation. And by conscious, I mean loving. So self-loving awareness. If you look at yourself and you see some pain, something wrong, be conscious, be loving, be forgiving and grateful, because it's fine. And if you observe it with these lenses of love and gratitude, whatever you see will melt and you'll be able to use it. So first thing is conscious self-awareness. The second thing would be that you need to stick to yourself, like to your values, to your values and to who you are. Because giving a super quick example, having been separated from my mother, what I value, one of my values, literally that one word that continuously comes to my mind is unity. I long for unity because I was separated. And so look at what's affecting you, look at what you're going through, and realize that it is a counterintuitive indicator for one of your most potent drives, and so one of your values. So you see, mine was kind of separation, and the value became unity. And I am driven by unity. I'm here to bring unity to humanity. It's one of the things. So look at your values and seek them counterintuitively behind what's painful for you and what's annoying you in society. And it helps just looking for the opposite of the word very often. If we find that one word that bothers, maybe the opposite is actually the actual value. And so conscious self-awareness, values, and then as a third thing is don't rush. There is no rush whatsoever. As I tell you this, I tell myself the same thing. Don't rush. Take it easy. Take it at your own time. You're where you're meant to be, and things are meant for you. So whatever you see, whatever you're doing, do it. Just do it. I say no rush, but no rest. And I believe our Andrea today is a phenomenal example, an idol for this third takeaway, that I take her as an inspiration. Because no matter what she's gone through, no matter what she's going through, she decided to take on this call, no matter her present conditions. And this is inspiring. This is inspiring and powerful. So just know you're where you're meant to be. Observe yourself with love.
Thank you.
Remember your values. And no rush, but no rest. Keep it up.
Oh, like in my business, I've learned that patience and joy are a thing, and that it takes time to build things. And things are not an overnight success. Like with my weight loss, it was not an overnight success. It took time and patience and working through things and coming to this point, as you were talking about. And I think it's wonderful what you have said about your business and living a life that's, livable, because I came through dark periods of suicide attempts. But you know what? That, like for me and you, that does not have to be our life today. And so I hope this call has been a help to you, because what you said. And I thank you for sharing your journey with me, and our paths crossing with each other. And despite the odds, you can keep moving forward.
Look, I'm not in US. I'm not in the US, and I'm not related to the US culture, say, but I couldn't end my day in my Thanksgiving day in a more, with a more grateful feeling, with a feeling of gratitude, with a grander feeling of gratitude than what I'm feeling in this exact moment, for having had the opportunity to be sharing my story, hearing your story, and connecting on this level with you, Andrea, and the audience. I really hope that you can take this and put it into bank.
It will. This has been a great podcast. I appreciate you being on it.
That's phenomenal, Andrea. Thank you. Yes, I will receive it with pleasure, and I look forward to it. I look forward to see what's ahead. I'm excited to see what's in our future. Thank you for these words. I feel them very true. I resonate with them. I wish you the same, and beyond. I'm looking forward to our next conversation, to our next interaction.
Cool. I do too. And thank you for being on our podcast.
The best vibes to you. The most powerful healing.
I hope this was comfortable for you.
Yeah. Unexpected and brave feeling. Thank you. I can only thank you.
Thank you for coming to Claire's Delight for Life. It's about life. I hope you enjoyed our podcast as much as I did, and I hope you have a great day. I'd love to let you know about a new book coming out, and it's a great help for those who, and including you, to deal with life. It's called Overcoming Depression, Anxiety, PTSD, and Stress. who couldn't use a book like this? And it's a great program. And the book and audio are going to be made available on Audible and Amazon. We also have we are on all the social platforms, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest, and TikTok, and just about anything else you can think of. With all that being said, we also have some other wonderful books that you can get on Amazon and Audible and on our website too, which is declaresdelightforlife.com. Again, that's declaresdelightforlife.com. And those books are Clutter to Declutter. And another one is 28 Days to Declutter Your Mind. The other one is Secrets to Declutter Your Mind Now. These were written with lots of love and experience, these books, to really help you on your journey in life, because I know, having gone through so much in my life, these are written from the heart to see that you too can succeed despite your situations. And I just want you guys to know that we do have a 180-day guarantee that if any of these don't work for you, you can just email us or at support@declaresdelightforlife.com, and we will refund your money with no questions asked, because we believe that a no questions asked guarantee is the best way to have a great relationship with you. And with that said, you know what? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Declares Delight for Life. It's about life, sharing your experience, strength, and hope.